Hello, everyone. This is Allison. I just wanted to pop in and talk a little bit about this book and the case studies in general in this course. I see a lot of questions about the case studies, and I think it is clear that people do get overwhelmed with these case studies, and I completely appreciate that because I find them overwhelming. Even when I review them, I think, wow, this is really difficult. And I know how to use the ICD-10 manual. So yeah, there's a lot in here. The main things that I wanted to bring your attention to are the readings that are available in this book are really good because they do break things down pretty simply, and that can help you understand that topic or that guideline. And I think those are very applicable to when you're doing your coding quizzes and things like that. This can be super, super helpful when you're writing in your manuals, all that kind of stuff. This is great information. But I do want to talk a little bit about the case studies themselves because I know they are super overwhelming, particularly when you are looking at things like this. That has a lot of medical history and things like that, things we haven't discussed yet. Um, you're being asked to review documentation that has some really specific things that we have not explored yet. Now, why have we not explored these things yet? This is because a lot of these, especially these kinds that have past medical history, all that kind of stuff, this is related to the CPT manual. So we're not reviewing that in this course. That's going to be the next class. But that's what all this is about. And then there's also things in there about procedures and other types of supplies, catheterization, things like that. And those are either procedure codes from the CPT manual or there's supply and service codes, which is from the HCPCS manual. Again, those are things we're not discussing. However, it's good because you can see what documentation really looks like, right? This is what you will actually be using. Information like this is in the field. However, in the field, you're also going to be able to query the provider. You're going to be able to talk with other coders. You're going to have a lot more resources at your disposal, like Encoder or other coding programs that help you identify the correct code. So you're not, generally when you're working in the field, you're not just going to have to blindly read a case and then code it just from your manual. You're going to have a lot of other resources and support to work with. And so I think there's some good things and some bad things about looking at this kind of material, because I do think it can be really, really overwhelming, particularly when you're asked to, okay, come up with, it just says ICD-10 codes. Okay, well, there might be 4 or 5 in there. I don't even know how many, right? And then you get overwhelmed and maybe you do. I don't know if your versions have all the answers or just some of the answers in the back when you look at it, and that can get overwhelming too because you've missed 6 codes or something. What I want to reassure you about is you're brand new to coding. You do not need to know 100% how to answer all of these. And I am not counting it against you if you cannot blindly code this scenario perfectly. You'll notice that when I ask for you to review case studies or to provide answers for case studies, I always do that in multiple choice. Because that is what it'll look like on the national exam. Yes, you will have some case studies on the national exam if you are choosing to take that. And the ones I've seen are more along this size, this length. Some might be a little bit longer, but most of them are around this length. And but every answer is still going to be multiple choice. So you still have the option to look up the codes if you need to code it that way, if you're getting really confused. And that's how I'm going to present case studies to you in this course. So yes, definitely work through the chapter specific case studies, use them as practice and use them as a chance to get familiar with the way documentation looks in the real world. But please do not hold yourself to this incredibly high standard of you need to be able to perfectly code this huge scenario here on your first try on week 3 of your exploration of ICD-10. That's unreasonable. So when I see all that anxiety in the discussions and I see people asking really, really specific questions, yeah, I want to walk through each scenario with you and explain why it's this way or that way. But I think we need to come from the understanding that this is just practice and that you are not going to be expected to do this on the national exam. You will have multiple choice options. Okay. So that's what I wanted to explore with you. So take this for what it is, use the information, use these as like some cheat sheets for understanding the text and understanding the manuals a little bit better. And then use this as practice. And then when you do see case study assignments, which you'll see in this coming unit, you will have some case study assignments. Know that those are all going to be multiple choice. And just like our other quizzes, we can work through issues. If you get confused on why was this answer correct versus that one, it's the same codes, they're just in a different order, something like that, we can work through that together. I'm not going to be super critical or strict or anything like that. I want it to be a positive experience for you. I'm not expecting you to be a professional coder this week. Okay. So I'm hoping that will help relieve some anxiety and that you can see this for what it is, which is just a resource. Okay. So please let me know what questions, concerns you have about coding case studies, and we can work through those together. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.